Hello friends of Athena's Palace. Thanks for tuning in to another astrology video. This one about the planetary contrarieties, exaltations, depressions, detriments, and domicile. We're going to do a brief introduction of kind of the basis of the astrology chart and how the planets definitions came into being, and this is from the famous Thema Mundi, which I'll put on the thumbnail for you to have a peek at. And basically the oppositional energy between the signs is what creates these contrarieties. So we'll start with the sun and the moon opposite the sun and the moon in Aries and Cancer respectively, and they're opposite to the Saturn rule signs of Capricorn and Aquarius. So the philosopher, a lot of the things that I'm going to include in this video come from the philosopher Rhetorious of Egypt, who was a 6th or 7th, early 7th century classical astrologer. And he prepared this text from various sources of ancient astrology, where he explained why these contrarieties exist based on the definition of the planets. So I think it's fascinating to quote him mostly in this video. I'm not going to say quote, quote, quote all the time, but this information is coming from him. So regarding the oppositions of the sun and the moon to the Saturn ruled signs, the sun is exalted in Aries. As in Aries, the light is increasing and we are moving into the light half of the year. And in this position, Saturn is depressed or in fall, as the darkness and cold is decreasing. So Saturn is rather exalted in the opposite sign of Libra as it begins the dark part of the year. And in Libra, the sun finds his depression and fall as the light and the warmth is fading. So then we move to the opposition of Jupiter ruled signs and Mars ruled signs. So Jupiter is exalted in Cancer because Jupiter oversees abundance, and abundance begins with the beginning of the summer. And Mars oversees death, so he is in depression and fall in Cancer. And Mars is exalted in the opposite sign of Capricorn, where winter begins and all plants and trees die for this season. Therefore, Jupiter is in depression or fall in that sign of Capricorn. So then we move to Venus and Mercury opposition, little signs. So Venus is exalted in Pisces, while Mercury is in fall or depression there, because Venus is the overseer of desire and intercourse, while Mercury is the master of arguments. Mercury is therefore exalted in Gemini, the place where intellectual increases, and where Venus is depressed or in fall, as desire and intercourse is depressed here. So, good way to explain this Venus-Mars thing is, when we're feeling sexy and we want to make love, we don't want to talk about really serious subjects, Mercury. We want to be sensual and satiate our desires. So one kind of doesn't go with the other, so to speak. So then that leaves us the moon. And the moon is exalted in Taurus, and it's in depression or fall in Scorpio. And the way Rhetorious explained this is where the moon is exalted, no planet can be depressed. And where the moon is depressed, no planet can be exalted. So he explains that the moon is the fortune of all, and he whom fortune exalts, no one may depress. While he whom fortune depresses, no one may exalt. So it's really fate. Fortune is our fate. So if we're fated to have something good happen, in other words, exalted, then it's going to happen. And if we're fated to have a more negative fortune, then it may be depressed. So I find that probably the most interesting of all the exaltations, the fact that they're both opposite. The moon's exaltation and fall are opposite to one another. So I like to think about these explanations of Rhetorious to more deeply understand the fundamental principles of the Thema Mundi, and it really helps me kind of see the structural underpinnings of the zodiac wheel. And I love it when you can get a theory going about something to explain why it was created that way. So it really does fit with the movement of the light through the seasons, and it helps to explain another facet of each of these signs, just adding more detail. So that's why I love the ancient astrology, because it has these exaltations, it has the domiciles, where a planet is in its own home sign, it has the depression or fall in the opposite sign of the exaltation, and it has the detriment or exile opposite to the domicile. So all of these really add a lot of flavor and fill in some of the shades of gray that really help us define things better when we're doing a chart reading, or we're trying to see what's coming ahead that we're going to be dealing with. So thank you for tuning into this video. I appreciate you, and please like and subscribe and click the notification bell if you want to be notified for my videos. Please share my videos. I want to thank my friend Debbie, who's been sharing my videos. I really appreciate that, Debbie. Thank you, dear. Anyway, you guys have a fabulous day. Take care. Bye-bye.